And welcome back to Flexible Games, where we are playing FortressCraft Evolved Mega Factory. Well, I've done a little work in between episodes. I was feeling a little cramped, so I cleared out a huge amount of space that way and cleared out some space over here. We need the room to expand our factory, kind of get set up. I wanted to make sure that I had the areas cleared out where our resources were going to come up, because I didn't really know where they would punch through. So over here, I already have the shaft for titanium coming up, and it is cleared out, ready to go. So what we're going to do really quick here is get this set up. And powered. So let's get to power here. And how do I want to do this? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that we've got quite a few resources, I'm able to actually max this out, which is nice. So these are 22.5, so that's 45, that's 90. A little over about 112 power per second we're able to feed into this, which is a lot, but not nearly enough to really max it out. And I've got a bunch of rack rails ready to go. And while that is processing, our nickel, I've got digging right now. It's going to come up somewhere over here. I am not 100% sure where. I didn't do the coordinate. I didn't map it out perfectly, but it will punch through somewhere in here, and we will set up the system for that. I've got more rack rails being made. I'm really using a lot of iron right now. And I've dug out over here a little bit more where this hive is. I want to actually farm some of this resin. So, you know, somewhere in here I'm going to need some power and just like a single ablator to start. And once that's cycled through all the ablation that it can do, I can place the liquefier in and accumulate all of that. So over here, when I cleared out, there was a tin vein over here, and I flattened it out using my excavator. There was about 12 million tin in this little spot right here. I don't know how much is there now. I cleared out a good bulk of it. So I cleared out about half of the tin that was right there, because over here, I wasn't worried about running out of tin. Over here is an obscene amount of tin. So there is a 10 million tin right there. And then right here, this is 58 million tin. I don't want to scan it because it freezes the game for a considerable amount of time while it processes all of that tin. But 58 million and 10 is almost 70 million tin just right here. So my tin for, you know, all of eternity is set up ready to go. I don't need to find any more tin at all. I mean, that is obscene amount of tin. So my tin setup that I have over here is just kind of superfluous right now. This, like I said, this will all be moved. And there is a little bit of copper over here somewhere. I think it's over in this corner. That right there, there's like 3 million copper. It goes way down in, and yeah, 3 million copper right there. So, you know, our resources are pretty good. Oh, these are out of rack rails. Let me throw in a few more. Not sure how deep this goes. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 350. So I had 700 a little over 700 rack rails. And I would really like to get both titanium and nickel running. Gold, as you know, the gold encompasses pretty much the entire floor of the mine shaft. And so what I think I'm going to do is cargo lift it up in one of the corners of the mine shaft and build a gold smelting area around that. Oh, there is the nickel. I knew it would pop up somewhere over here, so there it is. And I'm sure that there's probably some ore in there that we have to get rid of. And this goes down to 500. Oh, there's some more tin, believe it or not, right down here. Oh, good Lord. It looks like that's the stuff that we're mining, actually. 14 million tin right there. So with this tin and these two tin, we're sitting at about 80 million tin. So yeah, we're not going to be needing any new tin veins for, like I said, all of eternity. So I need to go down to the nickel area and set that to clear ore so I can dig up through all of that. Looks like we are out of rack rails yet again, and it is at 300. So let's put what I have left in there, grab any iron that is available to us, and run over to my rack railer. I expanded the rack railer here to really process a lot of rails. I don't know why that one had more than this one. That's really bizarre. So let's grab everything here. Yeah, I don't have nearly the iron or the rack rails to do the nickel yet, but it's just a matter of time before I get those resources squared away. I took out the smelter that was right in here due to the fact that it was kind of buttoned up against all of our stuff here, and we've been losing attacks like crazy, and the freaking critters are everywhere. So why is there a hole there? So this whole thing, this coal, this was the hole right here where the coal was going down. This little bit of coal up on top is the same vein. So there's 1 million coal right there. And mainly I did this because there were a bunch of slimes down there, and I wanted to bring this up to the surface. So I think this is now ready. Yep, it looks like 354. I was right on the nail there. 350. Okay, now how do we want to set up the smelter? I want to be very simple in the beginning here and not go too crazy with the smelting operation, but I do want 3 of these to be putting out, because we're going to need a lot of titanium. So let's bring these out. And we might be able to split these off and run multiple smelters. Like I said, I'm not going to get too crazy, but we're going to need a lot of titanium and nickel before we have a chance to really shine. So I think if I do 3 there, if I do 9 smelters to begin, I think that will be probably the best bet. So let's just go like this. And this one can come up. This one will go up. This one will go up. I don't know if 2 conveyor belts will be able to keep up with 3 smelters. Let's check over here. So 2 smelters, it looks like it's just fine. And there's a pretty long pause in between, so I think we're good. I think we're good on that front. So let's fill this in. We're going to put a hopper here. Remove only. Just like that. And then we're going to double up our conveyor belts. So they are maxed out when they output into the smelters. All right, and then we're going to need 9 smelters. We actually need 8 smelters, and I don't have nearly the resources to do that, but let's first start by putting the lift out. And that should head down to titanium. And I don't have anything set up yet because I don't have any hardened machine blocks to build tubes. And I really want to build tubes. Let's see, because of the Minox that deep. So we need hardened machine blocks to do that. And we're not making any right now. So there's the hardened machine block assembler. And it uses... I think, and I was just playing this here, nickel and titanium, yep. So it uses nickel and titanium, and then the alloy adds gold. So this is nickel and titanium, which we do not have very much of right now. So where can we put this temporary setup here? You know, I'm eventually going to automate this whole process, so I'm not too worried about kind of clustering it right now. So we're going to have a hopper here, here, and here. These are going to be remove onlys, and this is going to be an add only. How much power per second? 15. So it's wise to send in that, use the 40 power, even though it's a little overkill. I could use a green and then a lens, but I'd rather not do that. So we're going to need nickel and titanium. We've got the titanium. It's just the nickel that is a problem. And the nickel vein that I found, we have to go down to nickel anyway. So let's head down there, and I'll show you that I've dug out the shaft. Here's the cold caverns, so it's past the cold caverns now. And now here we are nearing the gold layer. So here's the gold, and then my titanium is bouncing out this way. Let's make sure that cargo lift made it down here. It did. So let's bring... We're going to have the tubes going this way. And let's just fill it with... So there it is. It's half full already. Because we don't have any tubes or anything that we can use for this process. And I'm going to eventually want to redo all of the power, and because we're going to want to send plasma imbued heads down here and all of that good stuff. So these have to fill back up. I will head back over here, and we're going to have to drop down. It's kind of a circuitous route. So here's gold. I had to dig a little bit more out of this gold vein. But if we fall down here, we will eventually hit our nickel, which is just above the main cavern. So here's the nickel vein I found. It's about 1 million nickel right here. And, you know, that's good enough to set up a system to get it going. So there's the clear ore. Just hit plus or minus on your numpad. And it starts digging again. And there's a bunch of ore in there that it has to dig out. But we don't mind. It's probably a little of that gold, but that gold vein was just massive anyway, and I'm gonna have to punch another hole through it to get a lift up there, so I can actually not have to fall this whole way. Okay, this is digging out. You can tell when it's digging ore because it only goes up by 1 or 2 every second. When it hits air, that will go up dramatically faster. So now it's having to page in segments that are way up there. It looks like it hit an absolutely massive amount of ore. I mean, there we go. Now it hits air, and there's a little bit of copper at the very top. And finally, it has to process through all that copper. That must have been a decent sized copper vein. But yeah, when it hits air, it can process like 128 blocks of air per second. So it chews through air really, really fast. So there we go. We are clear all the way to the surface. And we are good to go for automation. And let's make sure that is not going to hit our cargo lift. It's not, which is good. And to get up to the surface, I'm just going to do teleport. I could die. I could just jump down that hole and die and it would zip me back up here, but I like teleporting. It's futuristic. All right. So now that we have the nickel done, I'm going to build it this way. So let's get nickel up and running. There it is. And get the requirements here. We're gonna need some more power. Do I have enough resources? Gold is a little tricky, and I still need to do some base augmentation here. So over there, okay, I did the 4 and then the corners. There we go. We now have the ability, at least, to throw some rack rails in there once we get them crafted. Like, you may have caught the depth of that nickel was exactly 500. So we're going to need 1,000 rack rails to even get down there. And I only have, how many do I have? 500. So let's see. Oh. Whoa, a little serious hitch there. So there's 1.2. So this should get us down there. And yeah, the CPH, the poor CPH is just getting abused. So there goes the journey of the rack rails. And because I know it's going to be a long one, I'm going to fill these back up. So there's a little over 600 to get us down to 300 at least. And then I've got another 500. It's another 250. Yeah, it should hit bottom. It's power. Let's see, power-wise. Yeah, we're running a little dry on power. That's surprising. But once we got that going, that'll be pretty smooth sailing from there. I just got to do probably one more run of resources to make sure that we have enough. And that's going to be a major sink for all the slimes that come from this direction. But in order to make the tubes, I'm going to need some of the advanced machine blocks or the hardened machine blocks. And to do that, I'm going to need more nickel in order to get this going, so I can make both the tubes and the smelters for all this. And once those two are ready to go, it's going to be pretty fast progression after that, because hydrocarbon research has been done now for quite some time. So there it is. And we now have the ability to unlock, if it isn't already, the turbine generator, turbine intake, and we should be able to craft the reactor and stuff, the vat for... Not in there. Not in there. Where... Do I have another research that I'm going to have to pound out? Projects, ultra power grid. No. Advanced crystal dynamics? I don't think so. No. Where is the reactor? Where's the reactor vat at? Vat. Nope. So there is a research somewhere that we're going to need. I thought it was hydrocarbons, but apparently not. All right, well, I'll look into that, see what we're going to need for the reactor. I thought for sure that we could build it already with the hydrocarbon research, but apparently not. So that'll do it for this episode, and I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.